It's 2025, and Old School Runescape is still running strong despite the decades of haters, and you want to start playing an Ironman account using all of the new content and updates Jagex has provided over the last few years, right? Well, that's what this video is for. If you're in free-to-play, your goal is to finish the quests, and that's all I have to say about free-to-play. Once you have membership, there are 2 minigames you can get to really quickly that can boost your account and that are really good starting points, like Perilous at only 35 fishing, or Guardians of the Rift, which you can get to with just the Rune Mysteries quest, 1 or 2 inventories of air runes, and then the Temple of the Eye quest. Both minigames can do a lot to boost your early game bank to something that actually lets you start pushing towards content and also give you a whole bunch of total levels. There's also Wintertodt on Zaya, but it's not 2018 anymore, and though the Wintertodt minigame has had some upgrades that make it a lot better than it used to be, it's been a long time since it was a good idea to rush the big cold guy and get 99 fire making at the start of an account. In the past, it was much easier to do at 10 HP, but your HP level doesn't matter there anymore, so you can do it at any point in the account that you want to, if you even want to do Wintertodt instead of burning logs while stealing artifacts or while doing whatever else. I don't think either of the other 2 are really worth rushing their respective skills to 99 early, but Perilous especially isn't. If you want to do an easy minigame early that gives you money and good food, it's worth doing for a while until you get the fishing barrel and some decent stacks of food for cooking experience and doing content, but the XP per hour isn't great, and the barbarian fishing at Otto's Grotto gives you passive strength and agility XP on top of the fishing XP for much less effort and similar XP rates. Guardians of the Rift, though, in my opinion, is definitely worth camping for a while, though, as long as you take breaks at a few of the level milestones to go do quests that unlock some of the runes that you will really want to craft. You want Lost City as soon as you finish the Temple of the Eye quest to make cosmic runes. They're very useful. Troll Stronghold at level 54 to make law runes. Morning's End Part 2 at level 65 for death runes, and Sins of the Father at level 77 for blood runes. I really like that that gives you a decently long path of upgrades to work through, all the way to some high-end mid-game content with Sins of the Father, and it also gives you plenty of runes for portals in your player-owned house, for Slayer, for enchanting teleport jewelry, and it also gives you a big excess to sell to Ali in Al-Kharid after the feud quest to fund your progress in other skills. I'm leaving a lot of steps out of this, I think obviously, but if you've not realized that using the wiki is part of the game yet, it really is the best wiki in all of video gaming, and you should get used to typing OSRS into Google. I'm sorry. There are a lot of options to work through these days when you aren't making progress questing and don't feel like doing Guardians of the Rift or Temperos or whatever, like shooting stars for mining and crafting, which are tracked very consistently on the OSRS portal website. There's Giant's Foundry for almost break-even smithing XP using plate bodies bought from Horvik in Varrock. You can do Mage Training Arena for magic XP and Bones to Peaches for diaries in the future. That one isn't new, but they updated it, and it's way better than it used to be. I mean, you can basically do whatever you want. It's RuneScape, it's a huge game, but if you find your way back to Guardians of the Rift whenever you're lost on what's next, you'll make a whole bunch of money and progress and find yourself with goals for the future too, which I just think is neat. Hopefully you've been AFKing some combat experience by this point too, because early combat is the absolute worst it can be. Rock crabs, sand crabs, ice crabs, ammonite crabs, those are your options, and the higher your stats are, the better off you'll be. You can do all the old combat quests like Vampire Slayer, Waterfall, Fight Arena, Grand Tree, and Monkey Madness for a lot of easy combat levels. That hasn't changed much in the last decade, but once you have those, you should use all of your downtime to get even more combat XP. Logging off for the night? Put yourself at Sand Crabs and you'll get some XP before being logged off for being AFK. Making dinner, watching something with the family, waiting for a bus, boot up the mobile app and kill some crabs. The XP adds up really fast, and it makes a lot of content so much easier. You'll probably want some prayer levels to get through those quests too, and blue dragons will always be your best friend here. It takes around 100 dragon bones to get 43 prayer for the protection prayers if you do the wilderness chaos altar and don't lose any bones to PKers, or about 165 dragon bones with the ectofuntus. It's kind of a lot, but the dragons have weakness to water spells these days, so you can kill them quite a lot more quickly than you used to be able to, and you'll get a whole bunch of magic XP at the same time. It's not really worth doing higher prayer levels than that for a little while, but now that you've got some combat levels, it's time to unlock Varlamore with the Children of the Sun quest and put those gains to some use. Varlamore is like mid-level the continent, and it's pretty great actually. Hunter contracts at the Hunter Guild are fun to work towards and really good for your account, and there are a bunch of mid-level bosses and other content on the continent to keep you occupied whenever you need it. Sadly though, you gotta go do some Slayer, I'm sorry. Only 48 though, which should be easy now with all your combat levels so that you can do the Perilous Moons quest. If you're only around 70s for the combat levels though, you probably don't want to try actually finishing the quest yet because the bosses are quite tough, but even getting through the first step of the quest unlocks the Camtorum City and the Calcified Rock mining area, or the Bone mining area as people call it, which gives you relatively AFK prayer and mining XP. The XP rates aren't super high, but it's so worth it to unlock, especially if you're playing a hardcore. There's a lot of things to AFK, but being able to AFK stackable prayer XP without much mental input that also gives you teleports into the Camtorum City is very nice for the account. Just like the combat XP, if you come here every now and then when you feel like it, you'll be building up prayer XP without even realizing it's happening. After that, maybe you've gotten some more prayer and combat levels, you've done the Nightwave training mini-quest to unlock some better prayers, now you can think about actually finishing the Perilous Moons quest. These guys are kinda difficult without tanky gear and a half-decent weapon, but at this point you're more than set up to do the Defender of Varrock quest to kill armored zombies for the zombie axe, and to do barrows for 1 or 2 pieces of tanky gear if you're feeling up to it. It's a good time to get your Dragon Defender at the Warriors Guild in Berthorpe too, and maybe get in a little bit more combat experience at the same time. The higher your combat levels, the less necessary the gear is, but once you complete the Perilous Moons quest, you'll need that gear to grind 300 more of it to finish all of the armor sets, or at least the body and legs of every set. That sounds like a lot, I know, but as with anything, you can leave and come back as you please, because there's a whole MMO outside of this guide, but the gear gained from the Moons of Peril will carry you towards the end of the game. It's not the best or the highest of high ends, but it is incredibly decent gear and more than enough to get you through your first few Chambers of Xeric or Tombs of a Mascot raids when you're ready for that. And to me, that sounds like you started a decent Ironman account in Old School Runescape in 2025. Thanks for watching, and good luck. Bye!